The king of sprint cars needed a right royal entrance, and that's exactly what he got, arriving at the circuit in style. While His Eminence was hovering high above the multitudes, Australian champion Max Dumsney summed up the feelings of many.
Max Dumsney, what a night this is.
Sensational, Wade.
How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Sad, nervous, excited, what?
Probably a little sad, but not overly. I think it's just another night racing, really. But Gary says he's retiring, so I guess that is special. But Harry's retiring too, he tells me. He thought if Gary's going to do it, he's going to do it on the same night.
Oh, okay. So Gary's gone and Harry's gone too.
Yep.
Good luck tonight, the Australian champion. I guess you carry extra responsibility tonight.
Yeah. Some people say I should let Gary win, but I say no way. Like, I think if he's going to win, he's going to earn it. And
the way nature intended.
It would be the only way to have it, wouldn't it? So, wonder if George retires tonight too.
How was the view?
Excellent, yeah, them helicopters are fantastic.
What an incredible response, and it's nice to see a packed house, Gary. Everybody's shown up to say goodbye.
Yeah, when my wife and I arrived, you know, this is probably about an hour later than we normally arrive, and when we always come in back at Rose Hill there, and when we seen the crowd, we said, oh, well, that's a horse racing crowd, but then we realised it wasn't, and we're quite surprised and very honoured.
It's a rush racing crowd, not a horse racing crowd. 3 in a row would be just spectacular. Avalon, Newcastle last night, tonight. Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, but there's a few blokes back behind me that they're going to see it. You know, they like winning as much as I do, and I'm sure they're going to have something to say about that. But we'll give it our best shot. We'll try to win our last race. If we don't, we'll try. But I just hope you enjoy the night. I'm sure I'm going to. I've never been this nervous before. At about 4 o'clock this afternoon, I woke up and I've never felt like I feel right now, and it's very hard to describe, actually.
What I'd like to do is just bring forward 2 people who've been your biggest supporters since you really began. Now, if I said welcome to you, you'll say, yep, thanks, it's been great, won't you?
No, I won't. I mean, yes, I will wait. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming. It's just wonderful.
JB will say exactly the same thing. JB, it must be an honour for you too.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a very good night. Appreciate it. Shows how popular Gary is and all that. Plenty of coming tonight.
Go put the big herbs in the 2 car, mate, and give Rushy a win. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Rush, Kay Rush, and John Barrett.
Well, you heard him say earlier he's never been this nervous before a race meeting. Heat number 1. What can the Master Blaster do in this one? Talented lineup. If you came looking for an easy heat tonight, you came to the wrong place. Queenslanders, Dean McComb and West Aussie Pino Priolo square off on the front row. Daryl Hodges, another one of the Queenslanders, a hard-charging one at that. Strong interstate contingent here tonight. George Tatnell making an appearance for racing as well. Priolo leads him down the main straight. Hodges into second, McComb in third. Back to Brett Loadsman. And there's the man, Gary Rush. The number 2, Castrol Maxim. Well, I'd say the butterflies are gone now. No time to be nervous. Got to get focused on the job and got to run strong in his heat races. Out of turn 4, onto the main straight, goes for a tear-off. You see his left arm just go up towards the helmet and peel another one of those clear plastic goggles off the helmet. In a heat race, some of these guys who go through 12 to 15 of those in heavier conditions. Track is in excellent shape at the moment. Brett Loadsman, just ahead of the man he probably calls a good friend. Rushy right on his tail. These two have had some battles in the past. In fact, it was Rush who was responsible for Loadsman getting into sprint cars. He gave the young Turk a drive in his car once at PCR on a corporate day, and Loadsman's been hooked ever since. Rush using the lower groove here at PCR, floating up to about a half track. If you watch his left arm, it's always a pleasure. Never seems too busy, it always seems so relaxed. Up ahead is McComb. In the Reeve Cruck Titan Garages, number 36 Maxim. Just ahead of him, the throttle-stomping young Queenslander Daryl Hodges. That guy knows how to get a race car around. The HMS number 15. He's sitting in second. Priolo doing a monster job. Loadsman with some trouble. Pulls off the circuit. Marty Perovich is behind there. Young Ben Gates back to George Tatnall. Graham Hook. Andrew Shirley, another one of the Queenslanders. Priolo coming up to lap traffic now. This is one of the best drives from the West Aussie so far. You heard him say earlier in the telecast, he just hopes for a strong showing. Wants to qualify for the main. Yellow lights come on now. So we'll go to a restart. And with over 50 cars showing up to race tonight, and less than 20 of those going into the main event, you've got to throw out all the stops to try and qualify for the main. Rush. Thoughts? Far away, perhaps. You can see his left hand go up to the helmet. Crack the visor a little bit just to get some cool air inside the helmet. Stop steaming up the visor. Cool conditions here, but fine. Priolo leads him away. Rush moves McComb aside. Puts the number 2 car up to third now. Goes out after Hodges, who runs a bit higher on the track. Rushy works the low side. It's been working pretty well for him. He comes up on the inside of Hodges once more. Hodges, very strong Gertie engine underneath the bonnet there. Rushy will have to work hard. In fact, he made it look easy. Well, that's the type of form that race fans have been watching for the full 3 decades of his career. Seemingly effortless in some situations. Going out after Priolo now. Thankfully for Priolo, he doesn't have a rear view mirror in his car, because right now he'd be a little nervous as the 10-time Aussie champ comes out of turn 4, keeping the car very straight. Has he got the time left to run down Priolo? That's the biggest question. Out of turn 2 and down the back straight at his beloved Parramatta City Raceway, a venue, in fact, he promoted for some time during his career. Has tried both sides of the fence, but has always been more comfortable in this situation right here. Priolo's got a good head of steam up in the IKEA number 8 car. Running through Goodyear 3 and 4. Back onto the main straight, the popular West Aussie. He's travelled a lot of miles to race at PCR this year. He races both here in Sydney, at Newcastle when he gets a chance, and of course in his native Western Australia. Out of turn 4, I think Priolo may just have enough up his sleeve. Rushy coming close, but Priolo will wrap up the win. A good drive. Gary Rush second in the first heat of the night. That'll be good for his confidence. One more heat number 2 now for Rushy, and it's appropriate really. He comes up against his old sparring partner, George Tatnall. Away we go, the Shell Helix, number 8 of George Tatnall, driving the car that Brooke, his son, would normally occupy. Another strong interstate contingent in this heat race. And the veterans, Tatnall and Rush. In fact, there's another veteran in there too, Harry Delamont, split up by the hard-charging throttle stomper Marty Perovich. The number 52, JPPS, beautifully turned out gambler. George Tatnall, out of San Souci, runs out of turn 4. Perovich in the second spot, Rush into third. David Anderson, the danger man from Albury, and the Wagga Mobile Cranes, number 37 Maxim. Runs down the back straight into turn number 3 and 4, into Goodyear turn. Rush running the low groove, trying to pick up some ground on Perovich. Tatnall got a good head of steam up. Anderson running very low on the track. McComb, in contrast, running right up on the rim. Didn't quite come off for him then. So Perovich now in the unenviable situation of being sandwiched between 2 of the big names in sprint car racing, and the man they've all come to honour tonight, Gary Rush, sitting in the third spot behind him. Perovich running low on the track now, starting to eat up that real estate between himself and George Tatnall. Rush at the same time, making ground on both of them. Out of 2, down the back straight, Harry Delamont to the pits. Perovich goes after Tatnall. They very nearly in touch. In fact, was there contact there? Very close. Rush eyeing it all off. Ooh, hard on the brakes midway through the turn just then. Car straightened right up on him. Not sure what the problem might have been, but Rush, he dropped off some ground there. Perovich hounding Tatnall. Rush forced to reassess his options. The car is very tight. out of turn number 2. Can he pull up some ground here on Tatnall and Perovic? He does, going into 3. Tatnall's allowed to skip away just a little. McComb in the 4th spot, Anderson in 5th, Andrew Shirley back to Hodges, and Priolo finding it's a totally different kettle of fish when you start off the back. Great drive to George Tatnall. He should wrap this one up. Perovic comes at him again. Rush still in the 3rd spot, McComb in 4th. What a race this has been. It's been an absolute beauty. Out of turn number 4, George Tatnall under a lot of pressure. Perovic picks up the front wheels. Well, Rush gets Perovic, or did he? No, Perovic did that just on the finish line. So George Tatnall wins the 2nd heat. And trouble on the back straight for David Anderson, who didn't realise that the race had in fact been completed. Ran over the back of Graham Hook's car and barrel rolled the 37. He's A-OK, that's the good news, but the car is worse for wear. Well, almost 3.5 decades at the top, and everybody has turned out to say goodbye to Gary Rush. A 4-wide salute from the drivers. You can see him back on the 3rd row. That's about to change. We're about to usher him up to the front, the point position to lead this field around on the salute lap. And this place is about to go crazy. Spotlight on the number 2. As Rushy goes to the front of the field for his last ever race, of course, this is only temporary. It's just for the parade lap. He'll start this main from where he started 99% of his races, down the back of the field. Well, the crews lining the fence, officials lining the curb as Rushy comes onto the main straight. Fireworks, nothing compared to what you'll see later. And just listen to this place go crazy as he comes past us on the main straight, right arm up, acknowledging the fans. Rest of the field behind him, and on the infield, farewell Gary Rush from your friends at Castrol. And they've been great supporters of his for the last 6 years. We're getting ready to rumble. Just have a listen to the fans in a minute as they come onto the main straight. This place is going mad. The rest of the field coming onto the main straight. Rushy leading. And listen to this place go nuts. They've come out to salute a champion. Will he win his last ever feature race? Saunter on the front row alongside George Tatnall. We're green in the Gary Rush final farewell feature race, incorporating the Castrol Classic at Parramatta City Raceway. Dumsney to the outside of Rush, down the back chute. Farr is in there as well. He had a shocker of a start. Kerry Madsen off the track. Well, Madsen half spins the 29 Grizzly. And I think that may bring us under yellow. Field sorting themselves out. Yes, everybody coming to caution orders. Madsen bringing on the yellows. Restart now. We're away. Perovic down low. Saunter on the front row alongside Tatnall. Max Dumsney to the outside, keeps the car very straight, going in, McComb together with Attard in turn number 2, all tearing off a wheel, which bounces onto the infield. Restart now, Saunter alongside Tatnall once more, Perovic, Jamie Jones is in there. There is John Shaw, near pole 66, trouble again. Saunter and Jamie Jones in turn number 2, there's the replay. Saunter got very loose. Jamie Jones had nowhere to go. Both cars look like they're A-OK. In front of a capacity crowd, the sprint cars form back up. An incident-packed feature race. Plenty riding on this. Away we go again. Bob Tunks in the back of the field. Started racing on the same day as Rush 34 years ago. Hodges dives in underneath Rushy. Perovic, your new leader. Look at the traffic here. Oh, Wayne Skipper. Big wheel stand coming out of turn 4. Gathers it back up, but we'll go to a restart with Skipper to the rear. Away we go once more. These restarts testing the mettle of the drivers involved. Priolo down low out of turn number 2. He's sitting in the 3rd spot. Track has slickened off. It's very slippery in some places. Ooh, Darren Saylard bites the wall hard in turn number 3 and 4. That was a big wreck. Right in Goodyear turn, the young Queanbeyan driver is uninjured, but the car is not in good shape at all. Dumsney again to the outside. Rush right there with him, gets through. Rushy midfield, sandwiched between John Shaw, Max Dumsney and Robbie Farr. Madsen coming back as well. Hodges off the track. Gathers it back up. Well, it's desperate stuff here. Bridges almost loses it. Oh, Madsen's in there as well. Shaw somehow drives out of it. Rushy's so lucky. He spiked the brakes just in time. Well, a lot of experience behind the wheel for that man in the number 2 Castrol car. Out of turn 4. Yet another restart. Tricky track conditions. The more experienced drivers will know they've got to come out of the throttle a little bit if they're going to run the lower part of the track. Rush up to the cushion. That darker rail of dirt, you see him running above half track. Sticks the right rear tyre in that big cushion. Now he drops back low. Comes out of turn number 2, chasing Robbie Farr, who goes to the outside of Bob Jackson. And the Sydney Express Courier's number 12 Gambler. George Tatnall is your leader. Pino Priolo in second. Well, don't tell me that George doesn't want to take out a win here on Gary Rush final night. As they run into turn number 3 and 4, yellows have come on as they come out of turn number 4, so we'll go to a restart. Well, it's been a pressure cooker of a race. There is the slick strip that we're talking about. Rush to the outside of Jackson this time. He goes high. Perovich is down low. Here comes the Master Blaster. This is what they paid to see. Gary Rush up to 3rd now. Max Dumsney trailing him. Perovich just up ahead. Here comes 2nd place. You can hear the crowd in the background. Tatnall about to be lined up. Gary Rush into the race lead in his final race in this 34-year career. And this place has absolutely gone mental. You can almost hear the crowd above the engines. Big cushion starting to form as Gary Rush into the lead and starting to pull away. Well, the atmosphere is absolutely electric here as Rush works the cushion at PCR. Dumsney is coming. The current Australian champion going out after Rush. You heard him say earlier he's not going to be making any concessions for the great man of sprint car racing tonight. If he's going to win it, he's going to do it the hard way. Rush above the cushion, head down and foot to the floor. Can this be the fairy tale he wanted? Will it be the Triple Crown? He's already won at Avalon and Newcastle last night. Traffic starting to come up. Dumsney is on a mission. He's up to 2nd. Spotlights on Rush. Round the outside of Saunter he goes. Well, everybody in this place just willing him on. Out of turn 4, look at Dumsney. Coming from nowhere as Rush comes up to put a lap on Tony Bridge. Dropped across the slick and Dumsney is coming. Rush, ooh, a little bit of a mistake coming out of 2. Here comes Dumsney. Oh, they touch. Rush teetering on the brink of a rollover. Here is the replay. Dumsney and him did make contact. Well, this will be talked about for many years to come. Rush came out of turn number 2, an uncharacteristic mistake, got off the edge of the track, and now Rushy has to go to the rear. Dumsney is your leader. Crowd has gone absolutely wild here. Rush knows he's got nothing to lose now. Not many laps left in this. He's coming from the back and he's on a mission. He goes around Attard, dives through on the inside of Shirley. And Rushy about to give this 10,000 strong crowd their money's worth. You get the feeling. He brushes Skipper aside, goes out after Jones. It's all about pride now. The fairy tale run may have come to an end, but Rush is in entertainment mode. Dives in underneath Jones and goes out after Shaw now. Went to the back of a very long bus. Look at him skip across the slick spots. Bang the cushion and drive hard out of turn number 2. The Castrol Maxim tuned to perfection by John Barrett. Shaw just up ahead. George Tatnall as well. Rushy knows he's got to get a move on if he's going to at least crack the top 10. Dumsney is away and gone. Very strong drive from him, the current Australian champion. Perovich, Adrian Marr, Priolo having a wonderful battle. Rush off the circuit once more. No harm done there. Tries the slide job on Shaw, but it doesn't quite come off. Into turn number 3 and 4. And the Castrol number 2 Maxim Onto the main straight. Trying to pick up the scalp of Shaw. Perovic and Adrian Marr having an absolute corker of a battle for the minors. Dumsney is long gone. And Rushy just above the cushion once more. Here he comes looking for a move on Bob Tunks. Bob Jackson also in the middle of this battle with Perovic, whose front wing has collapsed. Rush up behind Priolo now. What a race it's been. It's had so much drama, so much excitement, and very nearly the fairy tale finish that this 10,000 strong crowd had come to see. Well, just have a look at this man plying his trade, the best there ever was in terms of this country, and proving that by coming from the rear and blasting past cars like they are tied to a tree. Checkered flag is out. Max Dumsney wins the race. Marty Perovic and Adrian Marr, great drive. Bob Jackson likewise, he fills the top 4. And Rush will come home in 8th and is not disgraced. Very sympathetic crowd. They've definitely got their money's worth tonight. Gary Rush finishes 8th in his last ever race.
Hey boys. Had it all won and stuffed up. Oh well. Stuffed up, didn't I?
Oh no, Max did.
Huh? Oh no, I hit a rut. Yeah, well.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize you were going to come shooting across that. I was just in there and I was committed. I was I'm really sorry. I didn't want to do this to you on your last run. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You did well to get where you got. That's it. Number 1. Absolutely.
Tractor. He's got a smell. We'll set ourselves another challenge, and we'll probably achieve it too. Got a lot, I haven't stopped. I've only stopped race driving. There's a few more challenges out there.
Max Dumsney!
You kind of knew that was coming. Max, that was a great drive. You timed your run beautifully.
Thanks, Wade, but it's not exactly the way I wanted it to be. Like, Gary got off the back straight and I dived in there. He jumped back on the track and I didn't expect him to come back home. It was slick. I turned hard as I could. Not much I could do that. Sorry.
Just let me hold it for a sec. Hold it for a sec. Just let me explain something, all right? Gary and Max are very, very good friends, and it's called a race. It's called a racing incident. And Max, I just as the race leader, the race fans in this place know that it was a racing thing, and that you don't win races that way.
No, I sure don't. I'm sorry to you guys out there for spoiling it. I really didn't wish it to happen either, but thanks anyway. Congratulations to Gary. I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry you couldn't be up here too. And thanks everyone for coming. Thank you to Golden and John City Racing, and all the guys on the crew. And congratulations to Dave on having a great crowd here tonight. It really looks good.
Max Dumsney, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. Son of Paragon City Raceway as a driver, the greatest sprint car driver we have ever produced. Please welcome Gary Rush.
This bloke's my mate. I had a race one. Don't blame him, he didn't touch me.
I did.
Gary, you showed us all that you can get to the front and go hard, and that's all that we needed to know. It doesn't matter what the result is, you're still our hero.
Thanks very much. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. It's just been really an honour to race over the last 30 years, and to race in front of a crowd like this tonight's been fantastic. I want to thank you all for turning up and sending me off this way. It's a memory I'll treasure and a memory I'll never forget. But I hope you enjoy the racing tonight. We tried for you, but as I said, I just stuffed up down there. But
We went to the front, forward and fast though.
yeah, we're doing that all them stoppages, but we had a pretty good setup. But unfortunately, we weren't working good around the push, and that gave Max the advantage. But I should have got down the bottom a bit and probably started. I think I was working better down there. But anyway, that was the way the race goes. But this is it. This is it. People saying, what am I going to do? I'm going to get up to work on Monday morning, and I might sleep in tomorrow morning. But no, I'll go and see my grandkids tomorrow and have a relaxing Sunday afternoon, and hope you all do the same thing. But before I go, I'd just like to thank all the people from Castrol. They've turned out in their hundreds tonight, and we've out-used people for the last 6 years, especially this guy at the back here, Russell Oakland. This guy should have been around 20 years ago. He's been my greatest publicity agent. He introduced me to people around Australia that I've never known before, and they give me such a break in life and in business, and I'll treasure it all forever, mate. And thanks again for Castrol and all my other sponsors, Ronnie O'Brien. I'm going to forget some here. John Scott of Petroleums, Revolution Racewear, and Johnny Barrett. Where are you, mate?
Yeah, bring John Barrett over here. Come here, James.
This bloke would never have happened without him. Believe me, it never would have happened without him. But thank you all very much, mate. But, you know, we've only retired from race driving. We could be back in another way. Who knows? But my son and daughter and my wife, I'm not sure where she is. I think she's up there holding the grandkids, looking after them. Thanks again for everything, all the things you've done for me. And as I said before, this is a moment I'll treasure. I'll never forget, and I'll treasure all my life. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Wait.
We have David Lander here. David, if you'd like to come forward.
Yeah, David, I was lucky enough about 2 years ago to win the last midget race at the showground ever, and David's been after this helmet ever since, and this is the one I wanted him, and I just like to present it to him, and thanks for putting on a good show tonight. Thanks, mate. Thank you.